What's up, everybody? We got an amazing episode today with guest Tom Segura. Want to remind you to go over to where, Chrissy?
Patreon.com/historyhyenas. Not only do we have bonus content there that lives exclusively at Patreon, but you know how you guys hate the ads so much between YouTube ads and regular ads, YMH ads? Well, at patreon.com/historyhyenas, ad-free episodes, no ads.
You get them a day early, uncensored, uncackled, plus bonus episodes every single week and additional content. New show called Snowstorm.
Yeah.
That's up there right now. Also, Ladder 14 content from the Boys Audio Podcast. Now, enjoy this episode from Tom Segura and the boys about the Catholic Church and the Pope.
Welcome to another episode of History Hyenas. I'm Chris Distefano, a.k.a. Chrissy Conclave. With me, as always, Yannis Pappas, a.k.a. Peanut Head Pappas. And we have our first Latino guest ever that you guys have been asking. Can you guys get one Latino on? And we said, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. It's not this kind of show. We're not about diversity or inclusion. But we got beaten down by the comments. And we said, you know what? If there's one day in the world when we're going to have a Latino guest on, it's today. The morning of the news breaking that Pope Francis, the first Latino Pope, has died. We brought in maybe someone who might be able to take his place, who might be able to bring Catholicism back to where it needs to be, and that's the one, the only, the Peruvian sensation, Tom Segura.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I couldn't think of a P word.
I know. It was.
I'm sorry, I blanked.
It was perfect, man. And just, I don't know if we should just do a quick moment of silence for the Pope.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He felt that.
He felt that. Now,
Yeah.
Pope, he died. Obviously, the rumors were that it was fentanyl, but the media's saying it's not.
I don't know. You never know. Those
Yeah.
guys get away with anything behind those walls.
Because
so.
Trump was saying on Truth Social today that this is why we have the border crisis, the fentanyl that killed the Pope. Yeah.
88 just fucking huffing fent. Yeah, dude.
And X is definitely going with the Jews. I think the Jews
Yes.
were behind it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
If you can, there's always a way to draw a diagram to the Jews.
It's kind of nice
Yeah.
that it is actually, when you don't know, you can say it and
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like some way you can find it.
And there's somebody, if today you just walk down the street and you hear about the Pope, and somebody goes, no, you go, Jews? They go,
There's somebody who, I haven't looked into it yet,
Yeah.
but
when is it
Possibly.
not?
Yeah.
When is it not?
yeah, it's one of those things people assume and then they work backwards. to figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah. And you gotta leap a few different ways, but
Yeah.
you can land there.
Yeah, you can land. You can
Let's call my mom.
Yeah.
I bet she is, by the way, so
upset.
Legitimately upset.
dude, South American Catholic is they're like villagers. They don't have
I know.
anything.
I was on a radio show this morning in Connecticut. I called in because I got a show in New Haven on Thursday, and I did some fentanyl Pope jokes, and they bombed hard.
Yeah.
Really?
They bombed hard. And one of my mom's friends lives in the Connecticut area and was listening when she heard that I was going to be on, and she called my mother. My mother's wildly upset with me.
Oh yeah.
That I was making fun of the Pope.
First of all, my mom does not play with, but I will try to say, do you think it was the Jews? Let's just
Can I run my pedophile theory by her, or that like the whole church
She'll
is
get
set
upset.
up?
She'll get upset.
so mad.
You hearing it? Okay.
She might be.
She may be in mourning.
Hello?
Mom.
Tom.
Oh, Mom. God, I'm just in New York. I got to run. I just was checking in if you heard about the Pope.
Hi, Tommy. Yes, I'm devastated.
I know. I don't know. I wonder who's going to replace him.
Oh my God, that's going to be the hardest thing.
I know. God, I wonder what happened. I don't know if it was like the Jews or what happened to him.
Well, what do you mean the Jews?
Well, they're always up to something. I got to run into this thing because I know he was sick. But
he was extremely sick. He got to the hospital after 6 weeks. And he came out in procession yesterday. I saw him and he looks really, really, really sick.
Okay. I love you. Let me call you when I get out of this thing, okay? I'll call you.
This is the weirdest phone call you can possibly.
Okay.
Pop died. I don't know if it was the juice. How can the juice have to do with Pop dying? What is? Did you sleep last night?
No, I didn't sleep that well, but I
Okay, it shows. And ask him to take care of your soul. That might help.
Okay. I love you, Mom. I'll call you in a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you call me.
I will. I will.
Sometimes you got to plant seeds, you know?
She's like, she defended
So she still doesn't know if it's ever a bit. Like she was just has no idea that she was on a pod.
What do you mean that she?
This has to be the weirdest phone call I've ever got.
It's funny too to ask her. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's noon. Have you heard about the Pope? It's like, wow.
She knows something's up. She said, "This is the weirdest call I've ever gotten."
Oh my God.
Oh shit!
Man. Yeah. Well, it's what happens. Yeah. I mean,
Now, you know, Tom is one of those sneaky Latinos.
yes.
Yeah.
Growing up
Yes.
in New York, I didn't know that there was white Latinos until I went to Miami. And then I was like,
The,
there are undercover
The
Latinos.
progressives like to say you present white.
Right.
That's
Right.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's Latino Jews, too.
Well, they're
Yeah.
my family's Puerto Rican, and I remember they first heard about Tom when you did those special in Spanish.
Yeah.
And my George, one of my girl's uncles, was like, "Yo," his whole thing was, "Yo, that white dude can really speak Spanish." And I was like, "No, he's Spanish." And I remember George like, "Nah, he ain't." I was like, "No, he actually is."
Yeah.
He was like, "He learned Spanish good." I was like, "Well, he is Spanish." He was like, "He's not." He just kept telling me, "You're not."
Yeah.
We didn't have any white Hispanics in
Yeah.
New York City.
No.
None. There's no white Hispanics.
Really? It was always like,
They're always like brownish.
yeah.
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 Is your dad Spanish too?
Well, he has, like, my last name is Spanish from Spain, right? Segura is from Spain.
Segura.
Yeah, it is Segura, but
Yeah.
like he could not have been a whiter American, like white bread guy. Like,
Right.
He's from Louisville, Kentucky, but it's just like one of those things, like a lot of people, where if you go back enough generations, there's came from Andalusia. He came to Louisiana. He was
Yes.
a real pig.
There's always
too.
one that gets in.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you like how we found out like what an animal this guy was? Dude, we had a family reunion in the year 2000. It was like the big, like my dad, his 3 other siblings, and all their children. So it was like 30 people in DC. And he had one of their cousins, like one of the older like siblings' cousins, was really into genealogy, like being like the old school way. And like this is before 23andMe. So this is like you did the legwork to find out everything. So they got us all together in this room, and this guy was doing like a presentation on a board of like Segura family history. He finds out, he's like, and in detail, like he's like, so the first one that came over was this guy named Francisco Segura in like 1746 from Andalusia, Spain, and he came to Louisiana. And everyone's like, oh, this is neat. And then they're like, yeah, and he started this business, and he was really successful. And right away, whenever someone's very successful in the 1700s, you're like, this is not a good
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, the slaves are coming.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy's not good.
Yeah.
And he starts like throwing out, and then he's like flipping this thing, and like, this is the tree where he hung a guy. And we're like, oh. And then it kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then when he died, we found his will, and he's like, there's like 30 pages of slaves left, and everyone's like,
Damn.
all right. It just kind of keeps going, and everyone's like, well, that was a really nice presentation, man. Thanks for laying that out.
Yeah.
for us.
Right. But look, generations later, still a lot of success.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your grandfather would be so proud.
He'd be so
He's
proud.
like, you did that without any slaves?
Any slaves, dude? I don't even know how.
That's like crazy.
That's so funny. You see 1500, 1600, 1700 Spanish or Portuguese.
Yeah.
successful,
Successful? Forget it.
There's gonna be bumps.
Whites we get blamed the worst, like whites for this, but it's like really Portuguese and Spanish were real scum.
But they're
white.
white.
The ones who but they're the one. Yeah, but they're not considered white today.
The craziest thing is like as we've gotten older, the whole idea of how we were taught Christopher Columbus. That's one of like the fun. They're like, guy came here just looking for what else is out there.
Yeah,
like he was like he was just a curious guy. Yeah. And then you read that like they would cut people's hands off for fun.
Yeah.
And just rape. You're like, and these guys were complete savages.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the way it was for the Spanish, just exploring the world.
Sure.
Just animals.
Yeah.
Dude.
Absolutely. Just destroyed people. I mean, even they say that when Columbus got there, I mean, just the idea of them showing up and just giving everyone disease, I mean, just wiped everybody out, killed everybody, and everyone's like, we're going to name the country after that's our guy,
that's
dude.
the guy.
He discovered us.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
Yeah, it's actually America Vespucci, right? What's his
America
name?
Vespucci.
Vespucci. It's an Italian. We're named after an Italian.
His name is Amerigo.
Yeah.
Amerigo. That's what
Give
they
the
named
Italians him. And
Yeah.
like they're really holding on to Columbus. Be like, we'll take rid of Columbus, but we'll give you this guy.
We're going to stay with Columbus, dude. I was there the day when they were trying to take down the statues in Columbus Circle, and a bunch of Italians were just standing in front of it with weapons to be like, you ain't taking down this one.
Really?
This guy,
Yeah,
it was like a big moment in New York. They were like trying to, and I just happened to be in the area. I just saw all these Guidos just standing in front with baseball bats, probably guns. They were like, this guy's a hero.
They don't. It's their hero, Columbus. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, and he's not even like a real Italian, right? What was his?
He was from Spain. He flew from Spain. No, he flew.
No.
But he didn't get sent by
Yeah,
Italy.
but he was Italian.
He was Italian, but
and the Spaniards funded the exploration.
right.
Yeah.
But he flew with the Spanish flag to the Americans.
Sure.
Right.
You give. What about Marco Polo?
Right. For Italians?
I mean, look at what he did with the noodle. He took the noodle,
right,
and it really sort of gave a culture what it's good at.
Yeah, I'd like to have
that's like
Christopher Maloney,
spaghetti.
that guy with the big fat ass from Law and Order.
Yeah.
Him, dude. I want him to be on our flag.
statue?
Yeah, dude. Just imagine that, his statue, him just a sick ass. You ever seen pictures of his ass?
No.
Can you pull up quickly Christopher Maloney's ass, and then we'll get to the history of the Pope. Just pull up Christopher Maloney's ass and tell me if you didn't know this was a guy. If you didn't know this was a guy, no, Meloni. Meloni. Yeah, Christopher Maloney's ass. And if you just take a peek,
I like how it's now Christopher Maloney's lonely ass.
yeah, I mean, that. Well, no, there's better pics. I mean, the kid's got an absolute dumper. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
If there's better.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just absolutely. If you had no idea that was a man's ass, and he shows it off a lot. You want to go with that Winnie the Pooh shot right there. If you see that, yeah, just pull it up. It's a nice peach. This is who I'd like.
How do you know that these pictures are here?
Just but don't take out the word lonely.
Chris is SSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm in the SS, but it's actually the SSA. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all right. I mean, yeah, the kid could do splits, but yeah, he's the Italian.
You like a guy with a nice strong ass.
Yeah,
like a real catcher's ass.
I like a strong man. Like I've been watching old episodes on Hulu of New York Undercover. Remember
Really?
that show?
Yeah.
And I've been rewatching it because I just get nostalgic about 90s New York, and I just watch it with my family and my aunt, and I'm watching it like every day. I'm watching another episode, and it's very fascinating to see New York at that time. Or to see we kind of got the same problems. They're talking about the same issues in the 90s as they are today. Like nothing's new. But really, I'm slowly falling in love with Malik Yoba.
Really?
Malik Yoba, the black man who plays JC, one of the cops. There was the Spanish guy, Eddie Martinez, and then Malik Yoba. And a 25-year-old Malik Yoba is just a gorgeous man.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to say that. I'm not saying that I'm not gay. I'm just honestly giving the guy credit.
Sure.
That he's just a Malik Yoba, 28-year-old Malik Yoba from New York Undercover.
He's not my type.
It's just a beautiful man. Now we'll get kissed softly on his lips if he ever comes in contact with me.
Yeah, I'm more of an Eldris Elba guy.
See, no, but this guy blows him out. Put him in
my
New York
God.
Undercover. Put him Malik Yoba, New York Undercover, shirtless, Christopher Maloney's ass. Yeah, shirtless, and then so he's just, you know what I mean, and he's just a hottie with a body. Yeah, if you look, well, that's Morris Chestnut.
Jesus.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and he'll get. Yeah, he's another one that.
You're like a human encyclopedia
Yeah, see-
for shirtless black actors.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just what it is. But yeah, the Pope is dead.
Yeah,
That is true too.
that is true.
So today here on the show, we're going to talk to you and take you through. There's a very interesting history of the popes. Do you know about the popes, Tommy?
I mean,
Tom
I
Segura,
just-
as Redman calls him.
That's a funny story.
That's pretty. Did you tell the other story?
Oh, which one?
The fucking green room story?
Oh, what? Tell him.
Dude, when the DJ came in,
Oh yeah.
do you remember this?
Wait, which one?
When we were standing in my dressing room.
Oh yeah, tell him now. Tell him that. This is great. This story. I
This
forgot
is
about this.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we're in my dressing room at MSG, and it's just like we had to go early, you know, for sound check, and just so we're just kind of like killing time. People are socializing. I have music on in my room, and there's a couple people just hanging out, and I'm standing in there with Chris, and we're just talking, you know, walking around, and then this dude comes in. And he's with Redman's crew. And I was like, oh, that's the DJ. And he just comes in. He's just like, kind of looking around. He's like, nice. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? And he kind of looks around. And he sees on this display that's on the table that actually, like, Redman's team had given me, like this piece of art, basically. He's like, oh, this is cool, man. I was like, oh, you haven't seen this? He was like, no, I haven't seen this. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah. And he's looking at it. And then I go, how long have you been with Redman? And he goes, what year those towers come down? And I look at Chris, and we both go, 2001. And then he goes, so that's when I was out with Das Effects. So yeah, so that's when I linked up with Redman after that.
Yeah, he
And
does.
I go, that's a good way to
That's a good way to
remember.
Yeah, to anchor your memory.
Yeah, because
to mark time.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause he was
Where were you born? He goes, when did those towers come down?
yeah.
I was like, the only thing that would have been better is if we had been like 01, and he was like, right, so 06 is when I actually when I met him.
And we were just talking about after you left, like just the like how amazing, like it really is like just like fascinating, like how he comes in and like that's his frame of reference, doesn't even understand how funny it is.
Not at all.
He's like he would be like if he heard this, he would be like, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Like because that's just he was like them towels come down.
Yeah. I mean, like, actually, I joked as I walked away from him. I go, it's nice that you can always remember because of that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, well, they said never forget.
Never
you know?
forget,
Yeah.
man.
So.
Yeah.
Well, and Redman just confidently calling him Tom Cigar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, he's got MSG sold out. Redman's opening for it, and he goes, "Yo, my man, Tom Cigar," and he's just legit about it.
Yeah.
It's Tom Cigar.
You got
And
it.
he said he's a big fan.
Yeah, you got to expect that. You got to just expect that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just white names are
Yeah.
difficult for black
You
people
got
to
it. And you
say.
got to roll with it for
Yeah.
sure and be like, for
Oh,
sure. For
yeah.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've been brought up on stage as Yan, Uranus.
Yeah.
Give it up for Upus people.
Oh, yours has got to give people some palpitations,
the
dude.
black
Like,
ones I did early on.
Yeah.
Just I've been a few times. It was just Yan.
Yeah.
Give it up for Yan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always get brought up. For,
people see your name and go, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Stupid ass name.
Like, is it a joke? Go
This
on.
thing can't be real.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that it's fine. It's just acceptable.
Charlie
You know?
Murphy used to call me Yannis.
Yeah.
Like Yawn S.
Yeah.
What's up, Yawn S?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's just my name was always Yawn.
yeah.
Yeah, they just struggle with 2 syllables or more. They just say not John or Dave or
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember one time I was doing a show with Donnell Rawlings at the Laugh Lounge, and one black comic was, you know, Donnell's obviously black, and then there was another black comic on, and he did this bit that like kind of was bombing, and he was like laying on the floor while he was and in the middle of a packed show, because it was bombing, Donnell was just in the back room, and he went, yo, get your ass up off the floor, man.
Yeah.
He said, this shit is embarrassing. And then the black kid just slowly got up, and he tried to do another joke, and Donnell was like, nah, next. And then the crowd just starts laughing and heckling, and it's like, it's just part of what it is.
Oh, they were vicious, those rooms.
yeah.
Those rooms were vicious.
Yeah.
One time I bombed so bad and then I had to walk through the crowd to leave.
Yeah.
It was just brutal.
I did an East LA room that was all Mexican one time that I bombed so hard at, like just so painfully hard. And then I did that thing where I got off and I told the guy, I was like, yeah, man, you know, I'd come back. Like,
Yeah.
and then he went on. He goes. He said he'd come back. Like, I was like trying to be confident about it. He was like, "This motherfucker wants to come back."
Crazy. His granddaddy must have had slaves.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So this guy, Pope Alexander. So first of all, the papacy, the Yannis papacy, has been around for 2,000 years, right?
And how Catholic are you to start?
well, I mean, I
Grew
was
up Catholic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Catholic school. You know, every holiday, church, every Sunday, church. If it was a Catholic holiday during the week, we'd go do that. Pray the rosary all the time. Yeah. Like,
Do you still go?
no.
No. It would be, that's a funny juxtaposition. It's like YMH Live, shit on the chest, smearing and shit at 10 a.m. and then 12 o'clock mass.
Yeah, no. And I feel like it took my parents a long time before they finally released the hook of like, oh, the kids aren't going to be like us. Like
Right.
When I was coming home from college, you go to church on Sunday. When I was coming home to visit them in most of my 20s, it was like, you're going to church today. I was probably over 30 first time I went home, and it was Sunday, and they were just like, we're going to church. And I was like,
Right.
and it wasn't accompanied with a guilt trip. They were like, we'll see you guys later.
Right.
I was like, oh,
let you
it took
go.
them 30 years.
Yeah.
No, you see, for me, it took, because of such a Catholic family, it took me having, Jasmine is not Catholic at all. She's Christian, but it's like, you know, the Spanish, you know, like the freaking Church of Latter-day, whatever, what's
Yeah.
that church where they dance around? It's like,
Yeah.
you need tickets to get in. It's like they
Yeah.
sell tickets on StubHub. Like
That's
one of those.
crazy,
It's
yeah.
great. The church is like in the back of a gas station.
Yeah.
Is that the
It's
ones
awesome.
that say like Iglesia
Yeah.
de Jesus?
Yeah.
And it's like it was like a former storefront.
Yes, it's just one of those. Yeah. It's in the back of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it took her to make me kind of realize, like, she was like, you know, I love your family. She was like, but when they tell our daughter that she's going to hell because she didn't go to church, that's not good for her development. I was like, what do you mean? She is going to go to hell if she doesn't go to church.
Yeah.
She was like, no, Chris, the reason why you bite your toenails from anxiety is because of that.
Yeah.
So just know
Yeah.
that the guilt, our children are not going to get raised with that. So if they want to go to church, they can. But if your mom tells our daughter one more time that she's going to hell, I'm going to tell her the truth about you, which is you have a gay son, so he's going to hell. So I was like, it took because you get so indoctrinated with this stuff. Like my mother is legitimately like blood boiling mad at me that I was making jokes about the Pope today on local Connecticut radio.
1,000%.
Like cannot handle her. Like I'm the
That's
biggest disgrace.
The one thing when I started doing stand up that like I knew that she cannot joke about.
Right.
You cannot joke about abortion with her. You just can't. She just does like, and you cannot joke about Catholicism with her. She just does.
And still to this day, you wouldn't even write material about it
like
because of that.
Even later on, when I call her today, she's gonna be like, "What were you?" And I'll just like dismiss it and make her know that I'm not joking, and then it'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
But if you're like making fun of Catholicism to her, she does not. She just can't see the.
You can't handle it. Yeah.
As a non-Catholic, I got to say I respect that sort of fear that they instilled for silence.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. She like, and I was raised like I probably, I mean, not probably, I did defend Catholicism as a kid. I mean, because you are indoctrinated so hard.
Sure.
And there's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
So you're like fearing that you're upsetting the man in the sky. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like very scared.
legit.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a look from a priest? Like, you ever get one of those? Like,
You know, luckily,
Little glance down?
The
You ever-
only weird thing that ever happened, because I was never an altar boy or anything, because when you do confession and you're raised to be like, this is where you should, you have to say these things.
you call it confession, I call it community blackmail.
Yeah, exactly.
I call it.
So I used to confess masturbating. That was like you're taught that, and I think the term you go, I was impure, and I was doing confession, and I mentioned that, and the priest on the other side was like breathing hard and like asking me to tell me about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a kid, you probably didn't know. You're like, wow, this guy must have just ran here.
No, because
Why is he tired?
I was like, I knew something.
You knew
was
something was up,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And
Yeah.
he kept like asking me for like details, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
The
You were like,
Lord wants to know. Tell him a full picture.
Yeah,
but he didn't know who he was talking to. It was a young Tom Segura. You're like, I watch guys nailing their balls to a wall. And that's what makes
And
me
the guy's like, "Hey man, I'm losing my fucking erection. Could you switch it up?"
Dude, my mother used to tell me that when I masturbated, the angels were crying. Dude, did you hear that a lot? Like that was
No.
a very, I guess my mom's age range of mother would say the angels cry every time you masturbate, and you can do that, but just know that you're upsetting the angels and they're hysterical crying. So I would just like have to think about that. I would just think about just,
So, by the way, it's so insane.
so insane.
But
But
you're sitting there, and you're just like,
But you know, to
I'm
me,
using it as lube because the other day I realized I was paying for 2 cable bills because I got that Rocket Money app, and it just sniffed out like a little truffle pig that I had an extra cable account, and it canceled it for me, and now the kid's only paying for 1 cable account.
yeah, I love Rocket Money. I've been using Rocket Money forever. I will continue to use Rocket Money, and you need to use Rocket Money too.
Let me tell you
I
something.
just had a sundown moment.
Let me just tell you something right now. You know what? Also, Rocket Money, in addition to canceling unwanted subscriptions and having over 5 million users that saved people a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, let me also tell you, cuz it's telling me that you're a handsome kid.
Yeah, today I look
Rocket Money
good.
told me that you're just a handsome kid,
Yeah.
and Rocket Money just tells me everything.
Yeah, Rocket Money's good like that. That's the worst when you sign up for something. You get, you try like, you want to try for free for a little bit, and then you forget that it's charging you. Rocket Money reminds you, and then guess what? You get canceled.
You get canceled. Listen, here's the thing. With Rocket Money, it is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. And I want to grow my savings because I want to have enough money to take Yanni out for dinner because he's handsome.
Yeah, it's you see all your subscriptions in one place, which is really convenient, and you know exactly where your money is going. So it is absolutely amazing. It also creates a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money's going.
Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. With Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/hyenas today. That's rocketmoney.com/hyenas. rocketmoney.com/hyenas. Go right now. Tell them we sent you. Let me tell you something right now. I love your beard.
Yeah.
I've been telling you all morning, you just look handsome. You look good. You got a tight haircut and then you left the beard and it's cute. But when you shave it, the only way that you look extra, extra cute without a beard is when you shave your face with Harry's razors.
I actually use Harry's razors.
It's awesome.
So this is great. They're great razors. And you know how I do. I grow the beard for a little while, and then I shave it all off, and I let it grow again, then I shave it off.
Yeah, and you always use Harry's razors, and it's just smooth. Here's why also you could just trust them, because they're German engineered blades.
That's it.
If the Germans make blades, you just know they're good.
Yeah, and just, it's Harry, baby.
Yeah, I love it. If you don't like a guy named Harry, that's a you problem.
Yeah, it's Harry.
Yeah, and what I like too, because everything in this world is subscription based, it's deliverables. They deliver the blades right to you, customizable delivery options for scheduled refills as low as $2, half what you pay for other big brands. And it's just awesome. I like when the razors just show up at my door.
Yeah, and don't trust any knockoffs like Henry or Hughes.
No.
It's Harry.
I get excited when I say kids, when I tell my family Harry's at the door. Your father's going to go out with Harry tonight.
Harry. You got to go with Harry. So right now you can get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/historyhyenas.
That's it, baby.
All one word.
Yes, get the 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and we use our exclusive link, harrys.com/historyhyenas, for a $3 trial set. If you want to be a $3 bill, you go to harrys.com/historyhyenas and you get a $3 trial set.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the Catholic Church because I feel like that level of sexual repression creates a very hot kind of sexual psyche. You know,
Right.
like makes everything forbidden.
Yes.
Which makes it nice. It's almost
exciting.
worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost worth it for the girls that it produces.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They were hiking up the Catholic school dresses.
Well, the Catholic schoolgirls thing when you're,
Dude, if you were, in the early 2000, late 90s when I was in high school, 1998, 1999, if you were a Catholic high school girl and you had an ass like Christopher Maloney, I was in.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for you
Yeah.
to talk about Christ.
Yeah.
And look, it's produced maniacs from the beginning. Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, Italian kid. He was the Pope from 1492 to 1503. Now, this guy was a wild guy because he possibly murdered people and he was assassinating people while he was acting Pope. So a lot of times these crime, the papacy and Catholicism, it just hides criminals because this was basically a mob boss in a rope. He was a mafia guy that would just kill everyone. Caesar Borgia, who was the military commander at the time, he was like, the Borgias were like, they would fight with like who was the other big family in Italy?
the Medicis.
The Medicis
Yeah.
and the Borgias were going together. So they would basically have this Pope. See, the thing is with history is no matter how bad it is, like you would think everybody heard about a Pope who was killing people, who was a mass murderer. But the truth is nobody's heard about him until we talked about it here today on the Hyenas.
I mean, when you look at how many kids may have gotten throughout the
Sure.
centuries, silence and nobody talking about it is a big, big part of what the Catholics are good
a
at.
lot of people don't today realize just how powerful the Catholic Church was in this era. Like for generations, centuries,
Yeah.
the amount of money, power, influence, and control they had over an entire continent was like unrivaled. Like you can't even begin. If you go to, when we went to Italy, and you go to Lake Como, and you're taking a tour on the lake, and you're looking at these these villas, these estates.
Mm-hmm.
The guy driving around goes like, "Do you know like when this was built?" And you're like, "When?" They're like 14 something. And they're like, do you know who built it? No. He's like, the Vatican. And I'm like, the Vatican built that? Yeah, that was for a cardinal to just live in. And then he decided it wasn't big enough, so they built him that one. And it's just like, it's just mob shit.
Right.
They're just like that's not a house for a man of the clergy, you know? It's like, it's a palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole idea of like, oh, the Pope, like the Pope who just died, Pope Francis, he was all about like modesty, and he went the other way
Because that's what you're supposed to.
But that's a new thing.
Yeah.
For hundreds of years, you're right. It was just like they looked like rappers.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Dressed like rappers. Yeah.
Yeah, they just walked out there like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Not Like Us was playing.
Just to be able to get away with that for so long, going like, and God preached a rich man has a better chance of getting to heaven than a camel going through the eye of a needle, and just saying that in like just a gold dome with ropes on and a robe.
Oh yeah,
Just marble everywhere.
It's insane.
Yeah, your own country within a country.
And then like we're not even, like this is just like the material stuff, but then these guys were straight up just killing people.
Yeah. Murder. Well, here's this one. Brings us to Pope Benedict IX. He was the Pope three separate times between 1032 and 1048. So he kept just being the Pope, then leaving, then coming right back. And he was accused of corruption and selling the papacy. He became the Pope at age 20. He was accused of rape, murder, and general debauchery. One guy said he lived as a demon from hell in the disguise of a priest. He sold the papacy to his godfather so he could get married. Then he tried to take it back later. So that's pretty wild.
That quote is insane.
Yes.
That somebody said, lived as a demon from hell in the disguise of a priest.
And it's one of those things where, like, I love to go back in history because it's like, I don't need another Spider-Man. I need a movie about Pope Benedict IX.
Yeah.
I want who is the rapist, murderer Pope?
Incredible.
I want to watch that movie.
I would love to see that.
That's gonna be Conclave 2.
Yeah.
When it comes out.
Well, he became Pope at 20, so it's like...
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't give a 20-year-old the papacy. Is that what it's called?
The papacy.
The papacy. I call it the Yannis Papacy.
The papacy.
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
Yeah,
He's too young.
Pope John the 12th, sex in the Vatican. This guy gambled, drank heavily, invoked pagan gods, and he got caught having sex in the basilica multiple times, and he possibly died under mysterious sexual circumstances. Some say he was beaten by the husband of a woman he was with. So this guy was just wild. We say, guys, when we say you have a screw loose, we say you got a leaky roof.
Yeah.
This guy has
Got
a leaky roof.
Yeah.
He just was a psychopath.
Yeah.
And then this guy I thought was funny just because of his name. His name was Pope Stephen, which everyone else, is like, God, this guy was just Pope Steve.
Hey, man, I'm Steve.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, they call me Pope Steve, Stevie Popes. And he got accused of corpse desecration. He put the dead body of Pope Formosus on trial, dressed it in papal robes, and screamed accusations at the corpse. Then he found the corpse guilty, cut off its fingers, and threw it in the Tiber River. So it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that was in 896.
Yeah.
Yes. Because before we were under constant video surveillance, this is how humans acted. Like if there was no cameras on the people in charge and there was no way you could just take someone out to a field and do that, people would do that.
People would do much crazier shit.
Yeah.
Our leaders are just not doing that now because like, oh, there's a system of rules.
It's so crazy now because we can't comprehend what's next. But the fact that if you ask, somebody could tell you all the streets you walk down today. They could just be like, yeah, we have face scans of it. Like that, like who knows what comes after that? The fact that you're tracked everywhere you go completely changes behaviors.
Yeah.
Because like even if you go back 30 years when there's really not that much surveillance, then we have so many more like serial killers and crazy shit happening in the streets. All that goes down because we're surveilled 24/7.
Oh, sure.
That's why there's probably no serial killers now. They just can't get away with it, huh?
You can't.
And they're probably frustrated, and that's why they go like, I'm just going to get an AR-15 and just blow up a school and then kill myself.
Because I have a theory on it that the only way you could be a serial killer would be to be so disciplined in the fact that you have no pattern that you know what I mean? Like you would have to like kill someone in Maine and then in Arizona.
Yeah.
And it would have to be the planning and the amount of time it would take. Like, because those guys always like stay in regions and just, there's no way you could do it. It's really sad.
Yeah, you could just, nobody could get away with it because it's like you just take a couple of crimes and then you just ask ChatGPT, you're like, who would this most likely be? And they're like, oh, that's Tom. Tom did that. You just follow every time he did an arena show, he just killed somebody.
Yeah.
Just like, that's Tom. I have it right here.
That's the way they got Vince Champ.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that
They
guy.
finally looked at his touring schedule and they're like, that's the guy.
That's right.
Vince Champ is if you guys don't know, he's an old comic that was squeaky clean. Like that was the thing about him. He never cursed.
Yeah.
Never uttered a bad word. Didn't even say poopy. But yet he was.
I think he did Star Search.
Star Search.
He did Carson.
Yeah.
He had a career.
And he was going and doing college shows, and then after the shows, raping girls, and then having them pray with him to forgive him for his sins. And then it just took one cop who just looked a little bit at the tour schedule and said, "Oh, I think it's Vince Champ."
That was my favorite part. He would sodomize them, and then he'd go, "Let's pray together." And at that point, you're going like, "Come on, man."
There was this Lafayette police officer. It's like a famous case where he was on duty, like an active officer, and he was breaking into homes and assaulting women. And then on the way, like the women said that, like on the way out, he'd be like, "Look, you gotta lock these doors. You gotta," like he would tell them, he's like, "You gotta, you're not being safe."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Appreciate it." Yeah. Like these windows are like he would tell them.
By the way, just so this doesn't happen again, let me give you a few tips.
Yeah.
You're gonna need
one of the ways that one of the hints to the investigators is the way that he held his flashlight, because lay people hold their flashlights like this, but cops hold them like this.
Right.
And he was always like this. Like
He always had his gun under his flashlight, like just.
And then they were like, "Wait, he held his flashlight up here?" And they're like, "Yeah, it was kind of weird."
Yeah. He had a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
I don't
Before
know
all this
what he
stuff,
did.
maybe that's how they figured out if the killer was white or black. They were like, was the bullets angled like this or like that?
Yeah. So there was a Pope Pius the 11th. Now, they're saying that he condemned aspects of Nazism, racial ideology, pagan nationalism, but the Nazis were just saying that he was their guy. The Nazis, right? Just kind of the thing is with the Nazis and propaganda is they were just like, look, Pope Pius is our guy, and we're just gonna, he's telling us that we're as Nazis we're being good Catholics. So
yeah, well, him and Hitler like signed some sort of pact, right? They made him sign a pact saying like Hitler's going to respect the Catholics in
Germany.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then sort of the Catholic Church kind of looked the other way with a little cleaning that the Nazis wanted to do.
it's just what it
Little
is.
kind of a handshake deal.
Yeah, it was like a handshake deal.
Yeah.
Well, I heard something too about the Nazis, about how like Winston Churchill and FDR and the Allies knew what was happening in the Holocaust, just that it was the Nazi scientists were just basically doing experiments on, the Holocaust victims, and they were getting results. So that Winston Churchill and FDR were like, it sucks, but it's like, maybe there might be a profit here. It might be a little business here, get a new type of medicine or something we could sell big. And then once Hitler just started killing everyone and not doing experiments, they're like, all right, now we got to jump in. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just shit happens.
Well, this is how business is done.
Business is done. Yeah.
FDR was going to business. Just business. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could get away with that for a while too. Like they had camps set up and they were exterminating people, and you couldn't do that now. Someone would just take a phone and be like, "What the fuck's going on
what's
here?"
going on
Well,
here?
like the people, I love the German citizens. Have you ever seen like the interviews of like the surrounding towns of concentration camps? They're like, we had no idea what was going on in the interview. It didn't smell like a barbecue.
Yeah.
In here. Like all of a sudden it was just barbecue for months. They're like, we just thought they were making barbecue. Yeah. We thought they were having Hassenpfeffer.
Yeah, you all knew. You definitely knew, man.
Yeah, they were just, and so
When you saw the jewelry store was closed for more than a week. You're like, what's going on?
This doesn't really add up.
Yeah. They said they'd be back in 15 minutes.
It's so crazy how, but like it just is so like highlights human behavior. Like if people in power start doing something and you're not the target of it, then human beings just go like,
yeah.
all right,
okay,
I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Yeah.
It's basically how it is being a New Yorker. Like you see like a stabbing happening in the train, you're going like, it's not happening to me. Don't say anything. Don't intervene.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Louis C.K. jokes, where he said his family was in town from wherever, and they'd never been in New York, and they got off the train and they saw a homeless person like on the floor, like bleeding and like screaming, and they were like, his family was like, oh my God, and they went to help him, and Louis was like, no, we don't do that here. Yes. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? He's in pain. He's in need. And they're like, yeah, that's just we leave that.
We leave that here. Yeah.
Or like my dad was always like he thinks every homeless guy is just like faking it. So like I remember like a homeless guy literally came up, no legs, in a wheelchair in traffic in the Holland Tunnel when they used to do that. And my dad was like, everyone lock the doors, lock the windows. This guy's faking it. I was like, he has no legs. So there's no way I could see he's got like an infection. And my dad's like, don't do it. It's all fake. Just like, no,
He can work like everybody.
Yeah, that's prosthetics. This is how they get you, gypsy. Cause I was having sex the other night, and I took a Blue Chew before, and I'll tell you what, man, this guy, he told me that he's never felt anything like it. The guy really had a nice time when I took a Blue Chew.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off as well.
It's what it is, because this guy, he really enjoyed it. And the best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You just got a rock hard piece.
Yeah.
And it's just ready for anybody to touch it. Guys, girls, it don't matter.
Yeah, it comes right to you, so nobody knows. Everyone just thinks your piece is it's steel. You want a piece made out of steel? Blue Chew's got you covered.
I love it, dude. I make life easier by getting harder, and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. As always, try the first month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code Hyenas. That's HYENAS. You just pay that $5 shipping. That's promo code Hyenas. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And of course, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast, and I thank that guy, for really giving me a good time.
Yeah, if you knew his name, it wouldn't be gay sex.
It wouldn't, because
You're not supposed to know his name.
All right, so now the Pope is dead. So Pope Francis is dead. So now, Jesse, I want us to pull up. I want the three of us here to put a bet on, and we can do this hopefully through DraftKings. Put a bet on who's going to be the next Pope.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, because now we're feeling, Yannis and I in here are feeling that you can't go with another white guy. You had the Latino guy. You had you can't go back to white. So it's going to have to be, we got a Chinese kid is in there. There's a Filipino guy, a couple of black guys, and then a couple of races we don't know. But let's pull up. Yeah, so this guy already I could tell you is out. We got a fat-faced white guy. His name is Cardinal Jean-Marc Aveline.
We don't want a French Pope.
No, you don't want a French Pope. I don't trust them. I think that, go down. There should be a list. I thought we had a list.
of possible ones.
It's just it's listing them. It's listing them like this.
Yeah, I want to see their pictures though. There was, I think it was the New York Post. Maybe they had a possible.
New York Post is good at pictures instead of words.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
one of the good ones. Yeah.
I love the New York Post. I read it every morning like it's a pop-up book.
The New York Post you can look at, which is great.
Yeah.
You can just watch.
Yeah. Put it in the New York Post and then get
it's the Instagram of newspapers.
There it is. This is the one that I read this morning. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, it is wild. I mean, Pope Francis, let's just be honest, he did not look good towards the end here. That does not look like a guy who was going to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, since they found out about the baby blood, these guys have been struggling with their health.
So this is the guy, Cardinal, go down. Yeah, Cardinal Tagle. He's a Filipino one. Cardinal Louis Tagle. Now, I think this guy is my pick. I think we call him Eastern Hemis. I think an Eastern Hemi is going to be the one because with the influence China has and all that, they want an Eastern Hemi in that seat.
I mean, it would be a wild. I don't think that's anything like that's ever happened.
No,
because it's really about the other cardinals voting.
Right.
So you go, how many of them are going to be like Eastern Hemi's the way to go?
But he stacked the court.
Right.
Yeah,
Pope Francis
he
did.
nominated a lot of guys who were who were like
liberal
into what he was doing. It's basically he stacked him with a lot of like pro-abortion.
The highest chance of getting a truly like this guy's not going to make it. Cardinal Pietro Parolin at 70, he just looks like too many other guys.
I'm sorry to say, I know you guys are Catholic. I don't want to disrespect, but there's no way I'm leaving this guy in a room with my kid for more than 5 seconds.
Right.
I mean, it's just on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on a lot of their faces.
Yeah.
This guy,
Yeah, this is the Frenchman.
Yeah.
He's the favored.
He's the favorite?
That's what it says.
Yeah.
He's the favored successor.
See, no, I don't think, I really in my heart think that it's like there's no way they can give it to another white guy. It's just not possible. But if they're saying he's the favorite, but you never know because what happens now, if you watch the movie Conclave, what happens now
it's great.
Is they're going to start to dig into these guys' past. So like if they got anything that they need to find.
Oh, and they got stuff.
They got stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it to this guy, this Dutch
guy.
No way.
No way.
A freaky deaky Dutch is. I'm not having you with your wooden shoes walking around my freaking Vatican.
There's no way they're voting for the Dutchman.
No way.
It's not happening.
All right, let's see. He's 71. How about this guy, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit? This is an Indian kid.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Dude, but this is maybe it's 2025. Maybe it is going to be the Filipino or the Indian.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's the time it could happen.
This guy's from Sri Lanka.
Well, if you think about it as a business, you want to go where the population's at, right? Our Hollywood movies, they make money in China. We need that market. So you want to go Eastern Hemi just
It's
to
pretty
appeal
crazy.
to
And if
market.
you do really want to fight
Get
the Muslims,
the fuck out of here.
Cardinal Robert Sarah. This guy, Cardinal Robert Sarah, is legitimately from Africa.
Yeah.
He's from Dakar.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they can you do that? Are they allowed to vote for that? Imagine somebody puts a vote like, are we allowed? I want to vote for him. Is that can we do
This
it?
question mark?
Yeah, they're like, I think if I'm allowed to, you think he has zero chance?
I mean, I don't like it. It depends on what this conclave looks like, right? Like, I do feel like it's like anything. There's a time where you go, it's impossible, and then you get enough people that think a certain way that like evolve, progress along, that these things are possible. I don't know. I mean, I don't know this guy's standing with the other cardinals, because that's really what it is that they go, we have the confidence in this person.
We can agree on this. We can agree on this, that for sure Cardinal Robert Sarah from Dakar, definitely out of all the candidates, does have the biggest cock.
He has to.
That we can absolutely confirm.
Which, by the way, check that box. I'd like him in charge. Yeah.
Now, are you guys saying this because he's an African gentleman?
Well, I'm just, not necessarily. I'm just saying he just looks like a man with a big penis. He looks like that's what the robes cover.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all dick under there.
Yeah. Now, is it tough because he's black? Like, you saying it's going to be tough to have a black pope?
Well, not for us.
Yeah.
We don't mind, but I think the papacy is going to not do that.
That would be funny if Tom was like, whoa, don't speak for me.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey.
No, I am saying that. Yeah, I don't want no black guy.
No, I think it's funny because it's like there used to be movies that like the whole premise of, not even that long ago, they were like, imagine if we had a black president, and like that was the hilarious premise.
Yeah.
That like Bernie Mac is the president.
I can guarantee
It's like,
this. I can guarantee you this: if Cardinal Robert Sarah from Dakar somehow does win the Pope, within minutes after he is nominated or accepts the Pope, in my group chat, one of my friends will send this Pope in the Pope mobile with rims on it.
Yeah. Those will be there.
That's what's going to happen, and all those memes are going to start to go around.
It will
Tricked out,
explode.
absolutely. Like Pimp My Ride, Pope mobile,
And the chain will just be
it's
like,
just within minutes. I mean, literally moments.
Park
after,
Hill Projects kind of thing.
I mean, moments after Donald Trump got shot, when his ear was bleeding and he had that fist up in the group chat, they put "Let's Go Mets" over that Donald Trump picture. So those are the kind of friends I have.
Yes.
Now let me ask you this question: woman possible?
No, because there's no way. You have to be a cardinal.
Yeah.
So
not
there,
possible.
I think a woman will become a priest in our lifetime. I think they'll open that up.
Probably.
Or at least let the priest get married.
Maybe that by the time we're a little bit older.
A little bit, yeah. It's either they're going to either let women in, let the priest get married, or just let the priest be pedophiles. They're just going to let them have a kid.
Just start fucking, guys. Here's the thing: you shouldn't. That is like a biological function of being a human being.
Yeah.
And repressing it is just it
The
doesn't
Greeks don't
net
have
good
that.
results.
Yeah.
Greeks allow their priests to marry.
Do you
all
think
day.
it's because of the repression that it happened?
I think so.
You think so?
I do think it at least plays a role in it.
Yeah.
Where like these guys are fighting this human urge that is virtually impossible to resist.
Right.
Like it is.
Right.
It's like part of our. It's like our primary function as living beings.
Right.
Sure.
So I think it's crazy
I mean,
to do.
priests and popes especially have to absolutely crank it on a daily basis, right?
And then just cry about
Yeah.
it and ask for
Take a belt
forgiveness.
and just hit themselves.
Oh my God, dude! If the angels were crying with me, they must be like literally going into shock.
Also,
with
you know,
priests.
our bodies they obviously change as we age, but imagine being a priest at 22.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'll just shut this down.
Yeah,
No way.
that's why that Pope went wild at 20. That's just too young.
Yeah,
to make a
100%.
film. Yeah,
Dude, there was a 25-year-old priest in my old parish, and he just had a raging boner every Sunday.
Yeah.
Just through the robes.
And
You could see
also
it.
the tension that would build up. Like if he is interacting with some woman who, whether she works there or is a nun or what, like the tension that would build up
Oh my
would be
God.
like irresistible at some point.
Exploding. All right, let's see who else we got. So he's probably not going to make it. Then we got go down a little bit more. Oh, those are it. So we got Cardinal.
Those are the front runners.
Those are the Robert Sarr from Dakar, the Asian kid, the Indian kid,
The
a
Dutch guy.
kid who's not going to make it, and then the Frenchman is the one right now who's in the
Dude.
lead.
I don't know. Here's the thing: the closest to like what we're used to is the Frenchman, right?
Right.
Like it's from the region that's still a Catholic, country,
Right.
historically, and like I don't know, but I just feel like it might be time for that shift.
Dude,
Yeah.
I honestly, if I was Pope too, because you can pick honestly any name you want. It doesn't have to. They just do traditional, but I would go something wild. I would go Pope LeBron. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Something with an apostrophe.
yeah.
Pope Dequel.
Pope Dequel, yeah. Pope LeBron would be my choice.
How do they measure? Is it by stats? Is it like what do they do? How do they draft it? Like
So these cardinals are all going to go into this room.
Yeah.
And they're going to go through rounds of voting.
Right.
Right. And then if they don't have the number of votes you needed to be, they'll put them all into this like fireplace and they'll put out black smoke, which means that they have to do another session. And they'll do rounds of that until there's a majority vote for one.
And what do they base it on? What are they looking at? A guy's numbers? Are they going? This
I think
guy's got 14
They usually are like
confessions, 100
these
confessions.
cardinals, it's a power play thing,
Yeah.
right? And it's under the guise of like this is a moral and upstanding, but it is just like politics,
Right.
So they're just going like, he's been at it whatever 40 years, and he's this type of guy. Sometimes they'll also follow along with somebody's like they know that someone might be ultra conservative, and so the other cardinals that are conservative go, we want to make sure.
Got it.
So and then somebody
Very political.
Yeah, it can
Oh
be
my
very-
God!
yeah.
So because Saint Peter was the first pope, but that was just like bestowed upon him by Jesus. They say so. That's a lot of people have problems with the way this is. They said if you really want, because especially Pope, the head of a religion, there shouldn't be any political thing attached to it. It's like the ego, like it's like the president. It's like you can't be a good guy and be the president only because the whole thing of you wanting all the power is technically not good.
Yeah.
So the Pope wanting all the power, it's like, yes, they're a good guy. Like maybe they're very religious, sure. But if you really wanted just the good Pope, you just have to randomly pick someone and say, well, you're the Pope now. because you're just a priest, and
Do you think they consider now like scandals? They're looking at a guy's
Sure.
like, what do they call it? His area? Is he a bishop or something, or
Or you
cardinal?
go from you go priest, then bishop, then you rise up the ranks, just like dude. It's like Tom said, it's like a politician. It's like being a referee.
Cardinals have like a region.
So they're like regional managers.
Yeah.
If this was a corporation, the Pope is like the CEO.
Yes.
And then the Cardinals are like the regional managers.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
right.
you got franchises.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
priests.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And those are like
Hard
the Indian
part
guys that own subways.
It's a hell of a business.
It was a
Yeah,
big.
yeah, it's a
ours
fucking-
was a big. It was big in my community because it was Bishop Thomas Dolan. Bishop. We would always thank Bishop Thomas Dolan at the end of every mass, and then Bishop Thomas Dolan became a cardinal.
Yeah.
So that
big
was
time.
huge. Like that. I remember that being in the Ridgewood Gazette. Like,
Yeah.
dude, our bishop just made it to the big leagues.
Yeah, that's big
And we were
leagues.
like, he was
Yeah.
at our church.
He got called up.
Yeah. He got called up big, and it was huge news.
Yeah.
Does any of it have to do with the charisma, the way he delivers a sermon?
Sure.
Hold
It's all-
the wafer.
all that.
It's all
plays
yeah,
a
you
role.
can't. And you also have to play the game the right way. Like, you got to be out there and being like, gays go to hell. You have to do that.
Yeah, but
You
now,
can't-
well, this guy's he cozied up to the gays the last guy.
a little, but he did stop short. Pope Francis did stop short of saying gays should allow to be married. So I think the media, you're going to see. I think the media is going to want to see a guy get in that's going to allow gays to be married.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to have new popes that aren't somewhat more progressive than the last, because just like you're pope sometimes for 20 plus years, so like the times change. So like there's conservative Catholics who think that Pope Francis was too progressive, like that he was like moving along too many things.
But are they making the same mistake that Hollywood made in assuming that people want diversity and they want LGBTQ?
Bingo.
Yeah, are they?
Right.
Is going back to white the way to go? Nate Bargatze, Shane Gillis, is that the way we go?
It could be.
I mean-
It very much could be,
Yeah.
because these things do swing right on this pendulum, and
Yeah.
it usually goes one way, and then people go enough of that,
Yeah,
and then
and
it's
then
go
we
the other way.
yeah.
Yeah.
so we should maybe the next pope should just go real old school and be like that first guy and just
Hardcore.
start cutting people's fingers off and throwing them in the river.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe this new pope just goes, not only is gay marriage not allowed, we don't want interracial couples.
Yeah.
You guys are all
Yeah,
out.
everybody get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and dude, it is wild too, because like Pope John Paul, the second, our big pope of most of our lifetime, like he got shot, he got kidnapped. Like, there's so many things that have happened that we're like, wait, what?
He was beloved.
Yeah.
Beloved, dude. He's
Yeah.
Polish. I remember,
Yeah.
I remember my cleaning lady was Polish, and she loved Pope John Paul.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one
Yeah.
that had to go in the bulletproof.
Yeah, the Pope Mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah.
The reason, because the kid just kept getting shot at.
Yeah, he got shot.
And they kept
dude.
wanting to kidnap him. They just hated him.
Yeah.
Polish
And he
ass.
went and forgave the guy.
Yeah, big deal.
big
That's
deal.
big.
I think he literally, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was actually kidnapped and thrown in the trunk of a car.
Wow.
It was just-
it was a Pope Mobile.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's rad, dude.
That shit
Yeah.
is dope.
I would
So
love
why were
to
they
get
trying
my
to
hand-
kill him if
I
he
want
was
to lease
beloved?
that.
Well, because there's always some extremist,
sure.
that I forget the reason of that, but
Yeah.
Dude, Pope Benedict, the previous pope, just resigned.
yeah,
That was the first pope to resign in 1,000 years. He
He's
just
like,
was
I'm getting out of the life.
He was like, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't even know if he's dead.
Yeah.
Or I have no idea.
See, because things do swing. If you look at Afghanistan right now, the Taliban just issued an edict. I don't know if you heard about this. It's true that now, and I'm not making this up. Now they want women to only have one eye exposed.
Are you serious?
for real.
He can pull it up. It's a dead serious. It sounds like a sketch, but it's true. So they want the full burqa or whatever, the stormtrooper outfit. What's it called?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
They want so only one eye. So now it's one eye.
So
Has to
one-
be- yeah.
So rule one eye. So, but I don't understand. What do you mean one eye? So normally they were allowed to have two eyes out, but now
There
it's
you
just
go.
one?
Taliban orders women. Yeah, they only want one eye. Yeah.
Got it. And then
Yeah.
what's the reasoning? What's the reasoning?
Oh, this is old.
This is old. Yeah. This is a true thing, though. I don't
What
know why
about the
it's-
one 4 days ago?
Yeah.
Should see with one eye. Linda Rosban
Yeah.
was the one up there. If you look, Lena. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't understand how that makes
There it
sense.
is.
though.
Here's the
This is
spokesman.
actually the next pope.
Yeah, this guy. So he says women should see with one eye. Yeah, he wants them covered up.
Yeah.
One
Right.
eye. I guess it's good. It's good for them to see less of their current situation.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that this dude can say this with full confidence.
Oh yeah,
too.
he's
Yeah.
up there.
No, he's on legit like their CNN. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one eye.
He's like, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Why is too many? Like, do we know?
I mean, I think I think it's just like tattoos. Once you get a lot, you just want to keep going. You
What
know,
are
you got them
people
covered
saying,
up all
Jesse?
the
What are
way.
the comments?
It's an addiction.
I like to see what the people say about stuff like. Are there no comments about this? Okay, only. She's got a private account.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, the Taliban they kind of just do what they want to do, and they just live life.
I think maybe they were getting a little too turned on from two eyes.
Yeah,
So they were like, let's try one.
Yeah,
And like,
I agree with El Hila. I agree with Dr. Saraji. I agree with them. I agree with them a lot. I agree with name cannot be blank. They're really making sense. This guy, Radas Finardi, Weiss, Atoll. I really agree with what they're saying.
Yeah, like you look at Afghanistan, women started getting a little. We were there, and then it swung back the other way.
Yeah.
So it's it's time maybe the Catholics swing back too.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be cool if there's some new rules we don't expect to come out of this.
Catholicism from the new Pope.
From the new Pope.
I would like that. I mean, if they went the other way, that would be very, very, very fun.
A conservative swing, like in this day and age from the church, would be pretty fucking
It would be fun if like a young one came in and just got absolutely jacked. Like was just absolutely on steroids and just a monster, dude.
Some guy
shirtless all the time.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
And he comes in, he's just like, look, we're not doing any of that like woke stuff. And he's like, the boy stuff was part of our culture. That's like, we're going back to that.
Going back.
We're going back.
We're going to be open about
Yeah,
it.
we're going to be open about it.
You know what's wild too is Pope Francis was definitely sick, but dude, J.D. Vance just saw him 2 days ago. Like J.D. Vance went and visited him 2 days ago, and then he died.
Did he really?
He died hours after he met with
Was
J.D.
JD Catholic?
I think J.D. is Catholic.
Is he?
I think
We've
he's
come a
Catholic kid.
long way. You know, there was a time in this country where being Catholic meant you like could not be in power. It was all wasps.
Yeah. Pays tribute one day after meeting him. What religion is J.D. Vance? Catholic Church. St. Gertrude.
Yeah. He may be one of the only vice presidents or presidents we've had who's Catholic.
He was baptized in 2019, though, so that means he's a convert.
He's a newbie. Dude, maybe he's undercover. Maybe he killed the Pope.
Is this like a wife thing? Did he do it for the?
No,
wife
the wife's
is Indian.
Hindi. Yeah,
Hindi.
Really?
Yeah, she's Hindu.
Why did he go Catholic then? That's interesting.
really
He
interesting.
chose his patron saint was Augustine of Hippo.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
So what do you have to?
Pope Hippo.
This is interesting for people who aren't Catholic. So what's a confirmation state? It's like a sponsor in AA or
exactly. So like my full name is Christopher Paul Anthony Distefano. Paul is the middle name, and Saint Anthony is my confirmation name. That's the patron saint.
Yeah.
Saint Anthony's a patron saint of traffic.
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
And you have one? You
I
have a-
do, and I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
You don't remember your confirmation
I
name?
don't remember my
Your mom
confirmation.
will be more upset about that than the fact that you said the Jews killed the Pope.
Yeah. Yeah, so confirmation is like it's the Catholic equivalent of like a bar mitzvah. It's you becoming an adult in Catholicism, right? It's not as I don't think most Catholics see it as meaningfully as Jewish people see bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, but it is like you do it when you're like 14, 15. So it's like, hey, now you're a grown up in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I used to go. I went to Catholic church with a few of my friends when I was a kid, and all I can say, I got to be honest, as an outsider, fucking boring.
It is boring.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
boring.
it is.
It's the most boring.
Snooze fest.
My confirmation, by the way, my confirmation class was 13 of us, and we would go to the church, and guess who gave us our confirmation like address? Like when we were confirmed, it was Tommy Lasorda.
Wow. Yeah.
Tommy Lasorda came in and was like, "It's great being Catholic." Gave us his little speech, and then we were like, "Oh, it's cool." And some kids were like, "I don't even know who that is." Like,
Wow.
And you're like, those are the gay kids.
Yeah, those are
the
I
gay
know
kids.
Tommy
I know.
Lasorda.
Come on.
Yeah.
What was it Inshore? What was his product when we were kids?
oh, it was
Not Nutriment.
no, it was
Tommy Lasorda.
the
definitely.
shake.
The shake. What
Yeah.
was the shake?
What
Tommy
was-
Lasorda shake. What the hell was that?
It didn't work. Whatever.
Yeah, he
diet
had a
was
big
trying.
fat ass,
Yeah,
Tommy
he was a
Lasorda.
fatty.
Shake. Slim Fast.
Slim fast.
Yes,
Oh,
Slim
because he
Fast.
did slim down eventually.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Tommy
Yeah.
Lasorda Slim Fast, which it's so funny now. Like we thought that was healthy, and now we know that is absolute garbage.
And
for
he
you.
had like that public persona of this is like everyone's sweet uncle, and then you can see like him mic'd up on the field,
Yeah,
being
he's
like this
like,
fucking cocksucker.
Oh yeah, dude, the man. All right, well, here's what we do at the end of every episode. We ask our fans to go to patreon.com/historyhyenas, and they make a funny name, and then we pick our winner, our PPW, our pseudo-penis of the week, and then we put their names up in lights at historyhyenasisback.com. So, Tom, we're just going to read off a few names, and can you help?
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes, help us pick the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just pick it out, and then usually, we decide who wins.
And I'll explain the rules. So the ones that we really love go on the list. If they're good but not like list worthy, we call that a Drexler because Clyde Drexler was in the era with Michael Jordan. So it's like if Michael Jordan wasn't there, they could have won.
I got it.
Call it a Drexler. And then the good simple ones are chicken fingers, and then there's walked into ones where the fans try to trick Chris.
Somebody will say something racist in the name, and then we say I walked into that one. Obviously, we don't condone that kind of behavior.
And they've gotten very creative.
And now they really get me. And there's a couple times I've said the full N word accidentally. And those are walked into ones, and we that's not okay. And of course, we have extra bonus episodes. We do full other 45-minute plus episodes only at patreon.com/historyhyenas, and that's where the real fun happens because we could just go off the rails.
We're going to let you pick this one.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So first, some people just choose regular names, and we call them straight to the back, where they just want their name, like they're walking straight to the back of a porn video store, and they don't
Just
want
here for the content.
They're here for the content. They have a regular good job, and they have a nice family. So we have Demetris Perry. Then we got Fumari Shafir and the region of Stanks.
Rage of the Stanks.
Victim of a bad read, but probably wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
David Guzzi. Then we got checked in with my dick at the check-in after banging out Bin Bin. Okay. Then we got put a muzzy on my dog because he wouldn't stop barking. Now he really chases frisbees.
Okay.
Okay, so tell him what frisbees are.
So, muzzies are Muslims. Frisbees are Jews.
The yarmulkes
Oh,
are
yeah.
frisbees.
Yeah.
So he's saying that his dog chases Jews.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, but not good enough to get on the list yet.
Drexler? That's a Drexler to
Okay.
you.
Then we got
So far, I mean,
so
I'm just exposed to this for the first time.
So then we got, if this Hugo Boss monkey doesn't stop talking about the Yucca app, I will chop my dick off. Shout out to Elgabus. So Hugo Boss monkey is a
German Nazi.
It's a German Nazi.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a Spanish person will call like a fiesta monkey, Italian's a sauce monkey, Chinese is a spy monkey. So we
Greeks are diner monkeys.
Greeks are diner monkeys. So this guy called Germans Hugo Boss monkeys. He's referring to me because I talk about the Yucca app, which scans foods for nutrition. Then he says he's going to chop his dick off and shout out to Elgabalus, who was a famous Roman emperor who was trans.
I mean, this is a pretty crazy name, dude.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
pretty good. But sometimes people go, they have too many things.
Yeah.
But know what this guy made me realize about you?
Yeah.
When you get into something, you talk about it a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about it a lot. I mean, that Yucca act, we had to endure like 3 months straight of him endorsing the Yucca act.
Yeah, and
then it just disappears from your life.
Because I'll just leave it at this. I've also discovered this weekend it's all part of my addiction. And we'll talk about that at the Patreon. So Jack Tinnerman, Evan Petty, then we got Wei Sean Cena, aka Xijin Pin's ball boy. Carrie Antolis, Broderick Bonaman, Eric Hernandez. Then we got Toot with a boot like a V-dub bug. It's a fupa. Okay. Chrissy put the Chrissy put the wig back on, please. Okay, I guess I put your wig on once.
Yeah.
Team Smacks, Sanjay Gupta, Brandon Stone, Fiddle Castro, Alex.
What? Fiddle Castro's... like Fiddle
and
Kid Castro.
And they wrote Cawstro, Castro. Fiddle
okay.
Castro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nothing there. Almost.
George Stangler, Rickle, Ramis Asterbo, Daniel Caldelano, Adam Mascata, Martin Leroy King Jr.
Okay, so that's a good one, but you have to know. So blacks are Leroy's.
Yeah.
And so what was the name again?
Because my father used to order a black coffee, and he's called Coffee Leroy.
Yeah.
So they call black people
Wait,
Leroy.
but what was the fucking thing he used to make you shoot over?
Also Leroy.
Leroy.
Yeah.
Leroy stick.
That was
Yeah.
just
Leroy
Leroy was just
but
what
he
he
called
would do.
that the Leroy stick.
The
Yeah.
Leroy stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Maple.
So Martin Leroy King Jr.
Yeah.
That's good.
Not
It's
bad.
good. Not
Yeah.
bad. Drexler.
But sometimes we get a list where there's 20 people on the list out of the first 25 names, and sometimes you only get 1 or 2 people on the list. That's what's exciting about
Yeah,
this.
you just don't know. This
You just
one so far, I'm going to say pretty light, weak list.
But it's
Yeah.
okay. We still got more names. Maple Monkey from the Uncle Dad part of Canada.
So
Okay.
Maple Monkey, Canadian.
Canadian
Yeah.
monkey.
If he would have left it at Maple Monkey,
Might have got
been
on.
Nice.
Tiffany Lawrence, Mike Oxlong, Georgios Karlastamadic. Okay. David B. Then we got Shlomi Frisberg, King of the Shoes. because he says Jews can morph and get into your shoes.
They
So,
can. They
okay.
can crawl in your shoes. Make sure you lace.
That's why I
up.
sent you that yarmulke yesterday, and I said Ari got on
my
shoe.
shoes. Yeah, that's right.
We have. They can get crawl in your shoes.
That's really. They are capable of anything.
They are.
Yeah.
And they could even kill the Pope.
Yeah.
Andrew Farquhar, Aaron 2141C, Tim Dillon's Arch.
It's good.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like.
List? No.
I mean, Drexler.
Drexler.
Okay,
That's
okay.
now you get. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. That would be perfect.
Ben Shapiro's Frisbee. That's a fun one. It's Ben
chicken
jumping.
fun. It's fun.
Chicken finger.
Yeah, nothing's blowing Tom away yet.
Yeah, Net Tech Nerd. Then we got Herpes gave me herpes. It's what it is. Kid just said he got herpes
From a trans
from
woman.
a trans woman. Michelle Doherty, Kyle Campos, Gregory Davis. My real name is Mike Cock, S-L-O-K-S.
Okay,
That's what
it
it
is
is.
what it is.
Actually, that's the kid's real name. Mooseman Gibby. Salichas y frijos pero guapo es lo que es. Okay, so what
didn't
is that
know
like?
that.
Franks and beans, right?
Yeah.
So,
what does that say in
Salichichas y frijos. Isn't that Franks and beans?
Salchichas
Salchichas
and
y frijos. Isn't that Franks and beans? Frankfurters and beans?
frijos.
Frijos. Isn't
Okay.
that beans?
Maybe.
Frijos. Pero
So-
guapo es lo que es. All right.
Okay. But handsome is what it is.
I
Yeah.
guess. Underground tunnel rapper, a.k.a. Leroy with a Frisbee.
Leroy with a frisbee.
You like
It's
Leroy?
clever.
Yeah.
It's clever. Yeah, Leroy with a Frisbee.
You don't see a lot of Leroy's with
He's
frisbees.
saying he's a black Jew.
Yeah.
And he's saying in the tunnels. What said again?
Underground tunnel rapper.
So he's an underground tunnel rapper because the Jews are in tunnels. Okay.
Okay.
Still not blowing Tom away.
Jordan Barskowitz, Ted Rudd, Paige Wooten, Ray the True Blue Gay, Ryan Whitkins, David, who's going to carry the tears of the queers Goggins?
That's pretty funny.
You like that one?
I like it.
Yeah.
Not on the list yet, though.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Not. Someone's got to blow him away. I
Drexler's,
respect it.
He recognizes a list full of Drexlers.
I like that.
And that's what this
And
is.
sometimes that's what it is.
That's sometimes.
See you next Tuesday. Then we got Send Me Straight to the back of Medusa's ass because it got me rock hard. King Dong, Ivan Lickward. Then we got I Lick Ball Twins, Guns Kill People. Hey, I don't know what that means. Father Squeak. Didn't stop to let my wife pee. Now my car smells like H1B. Saying his wife's an immigrant?
Yeah, I guess. I guess he's saying immigrants smell.
Got it.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to
I
sneak
respect
in there.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Respect it.
that. Yeah.
Bart Butler, Gordy Bradbury, Rudy Tootsie, Fresh and No Fumy, Yeasty Peace, Bing Banged, Gordy Seps, Charlotte Gavin.
I just gotta take a sec because I like yeasty peas. It's
You
a
like
good
Yeasty
chicken
Peas?
finger. Yeah,
And
it's a
then
simple good one.
And then
yeah.
right after that is Bing Banged, which is not
Big Bag
bad.
is another good one. Yeah, those are chicken fingers.
Okay. Forget about it. Nate Nutt, Andres Montez, Bull Moose, Way Sean King is white, Jackie McConnell, Whitney McGuire, Garlic Slice Thin Nice, or PP in butt, no dice.
Come on.
Yeah,
You like that?
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's on the
Yeah.
list.
I
All
like
right,
it.
got one on the list.
yeah. Because we always say Italian women have to slice the garlic thin or else they get disciplined.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Two things that make Yanni go pewing, and that's trans women and cute radiator covers.
This guy's been listening to the show for a long time.
So two things that make Giannis hard: women, trans women, and then he likes different covers of radiators around New York homes.
Yeah.
He's really into that.
And that's a guy who's been a fan from a long time.
But still not on the list. You don't think that hasn't made it?
I mean, what do you think?
I'm gonna
Would you
go.
put that on the list?
That's a nostalgic one. What do you?
Because
think?
it's a deep cut,
It's
man.
a deep cut. It's a deep cut.
I'm going to put him on the list just for nostalgia,
Put him on-
but I
okay.
don't know that he's a front runner at all. I don't know if there's any front runners.
That
yet.
might have been our first charity list. Because the list is so weak, you threw him on. I don't know if we've ever done that.
Right.
That was a DEA hire.
That was.
I'm sorry, DEI. Yeah.
So then we got Jacob Wagner, Greg Hare. Then we got Bobby Sands in your crack. Okay. Noah Sag, Taisha Fernandez. Harry Sisson is voting glue no matter who. Don Kehoge, Ben Chelahu, Corbin Porter, Andrea Holder, was craving Middle Eastern food, so ordered Uber Eats and ate my delivery driver's ass. It's what it is. Come on. He's on. It's what it
Guy was hungry.
Yeah.
It sounds like my kind of guy.
That's your kind of guy.
Yeah. My buddy's obvious anchor baby, Faustina Maydish. Okay. Yeah. Parker Lane. If Joe didn't laugh, it was funny. Okay.
Oh, I mean,
Is that
Joe
the Rogan? That's
yeah.
the Rogan hit.
Yeah.
David A. Teletubby, Michael Benjamin. How's your bean 13? Just as straight as Alexander the Great. So that means he's gay.
gay.
Yeah, 'cause we said Alexander the Great was
Inventive
gay
one.
on the show. Thomas Ryan, peace on probation. Xi Jinping keeps entering my canal, but I can't stop with the witch hazel. Okay. Mofungo in my bunghole, lick it clean, AOC. This guy wants AOC to eat his mofungo ass.
Puerto Rican kid.
Puerto Rican kid.
Yeah.
Zach, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Foreigner with foreskin. Kyle, Maxwell, David, Uncle Russell's short cobby body. My uncle is a cat judge. Is a famous
gay
cat
cat
judge.
judge,
Yeah. And so
Did
he
you know that? I think you told me that one time.
Yeah, so he has a video out there where he's judging cat. And he goes, "This one is my first place cat because it's got a nice short cobby body." And he speaks with a real New York accent.
Real Queens accent. It's very funny.
He goes, "I got a short cobby body." So this guy wanted to make himself Uncle Russell's cat. Okay. Nico Rico, Christopher Whitehead, From Under Cheese, Charcuterie Horde, Daniel DeLeo. Then we got Don't Be a Homo with FOMO. Does the David have a brownie or not? Okay. Carter Lynn Salata. And then let's just see. I don't see any of this. Was a very, very disappointing light list when we had a guest like Tom Segura on.
Yeah.
And we didn't get anybody really, because last week the list was knockout. Last week was the best list we might have had in 5 years.
Well, that's how it has to go.
Right?
You can't go like.
All right.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, guys, this was a weak list, but we do have 3 that made the list. So we got, this is between who's going to win the PPW pseudo penis of the week: garlic slice, thin nice, or PP and butt no dice. 2 things that make Yanni Pyoing: trans women and cute radiator covers. And then was craving Middle Eastern food, so ordered Uber Eats and ate my delivery driver's ass. It's what it is. So who do we like as the winner of those 3, Tom?
I mean, I feel like I kind of want to give a nod to the nostalgia of the
Radiator
listener
covers.
Of the radiator covers.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like, it's somebody who's been with you this long ride. Like
You're right.
It feels like that's the right way.
So
to
you
go.
like that? You like that more than eating a Middle Eastern delivery driver's ass?
I wouldn't go that far. Because that's fantastic. That guy is speaking my language.
Right.
But I just feel like I want to give the credit to like the person that has been with you that long.
I like that. You respect that. So that's what you get. That's the winner.
I feel like
right.
that person is a
And it's good. It's a good one.
Congratulations
So,
to 2 things that make Yanni Pyoing: trans women and cute radiator covers.
It's funny, too.
You are a PPW pseudo penis of the week. You will see your name up in lights at historyhyenasisback.com, along with all our stand-up dates. And Tom, where can they see you?
let me speak for the
Yes.
fans when I say I'm so happy you guys are back together doing this.
thank
Because
you.
You guys have unbelievable chemistry together. It's fun to watch. You guys are 2 of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Thank
And
you.
I love watching you guys together. So please
Yes.
keep doing this podcast.
And we are and we are
And we are YMH, baby.
we are YMH, and we are butt chugging lightning strike every day on the show. We're sticking it in our ass directly.
Yeah.
And you guys better go to that fucking 5K in Tampa, you pieces of shit.
Go to it. And I'm on tour. Tickets are at tomsegura.com/tour. May 13th, my new series, Bad Thoughts, drops on Netflix. Please check it out.
Yep.
Can't wait
Awesome.
to see that.
Thank you.
I saw the trailer.
Absolutely.
It looks great.
Thank you.